Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Vinobihari Mandir.
Within Gopinath Bhavan.
Within Gopinath Bhavan. Coming to you live from Vrindavan. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhanu Guru Varga ki jai. Pati Pavan Shri Nityanand Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinobihari Ji ki jai, Radha Ramana Ji ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Hari Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Krishna Vrind ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Vandeham Shri Guru, V-A-N-D-E, Vande.
Someone actually asked on the last post about this book if you could hold it up and really let them know and say it slowly.
Okay.
And maybe tell them where they can get it or order it.
I'll hold it closer. So it's known as Sri Gauriya Giti Guccha. And I'm not sure where you can purchase it, honestly.
I think if you go to purebhakti.com and it could be there, or you can get in touch with Madhukar Prabhu.
Is it on Bhakti Books? I don't know. There's also an app called Gaudiya Kirtan app, and that one's available for both Apple and Android, so you should be able to find the bhajans there as well.
Also, Jiva Pavana Prabhu also very kindly shares the bhajans as we're going along on the thread, so there's always that to look forward to.
Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu.
With all kinds of nectar added.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vikam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshcha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namahom Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayanitirāmine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sulaksham Audharyamadhurya Gunaishta-yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Shirasa Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Pada Jivitaika Hriddi Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasara Narayanam Tam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaurapreshthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Iti Namine Patimatyacharitraya Swashritananchapaline Jiva Dukhe Sadarkaya Shri Nama Premadaine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Gayitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinakarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhume Swam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahamadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrishe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayakam Surato Pango Mahamanda Matergati Matsarvasvapadambujo Radha Madana Mohano Divyan Vrindaranya Kalpadumado Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Shri Govinda Deva Krishnanidhi Sevyamano Smarami Shrimad Sarasarambhi Mam Shiva Tatatastitaha Karsham Venu Svanargoti Gopinatha Shri Estunaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Chidatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Ganadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadamagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Shvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nameva Kevalam Karunastye Manastye Manastye Gatiranyaka Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. For those of you who just recently found your Gaudiya Gita Gucha books and you're trying to follow along, there are some differences, as you may have noticed, in the same pranam mantra of our Gurudev since we were present in front of him, and we've continued chanting that same pranam mantra. It's not that other pranam mantras which were made subsequently or maybe even before that are invalid, but it's what we were doing for him when he was physically present, and we continue to this day.
And they were accepted.
And they were accepted by him. Also, the pranam mantra of our Param Gurudev, that means the Guru of our Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj. There it says, Acharya Singh Harupine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Acharya Singh Harupine in the songbook, Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Iti Namine. There we say Gaura Prishtaya Bhutale because our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, said, "It is true that my Gurudev was very bold and powerful like a lion, but it's not always nice to hear that your Gurudev is like a lion, because he also saw so many different aspects of his Gurudev." He said his Gurudev was like a lion to all of those who were opposed to bhakti, but to his own disciples he had so much vatsalyata, so much parental-like affection for them. He said, so it's not always nice to just hear that your Gurudev is like a lion. Much more than that, he is near and dear to Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So I like Gaura Prishtaya Bhutale. So we say Gaura Prishtaya Bhutale. And then in the end, we have added something, especially for now and for all time actually. Cheto Darpanamarjanam and Hare Nama Hare Nama.
They are in the list of the pranam mantras.
But they come after.
Yes, we just.
So they come after the Mahamantra in the list of prayers in this book, Cheto Darpanamarjanam and Hare Nama Hare Nama. But we've added it just before the Mahamantra because Cheto Darpanamarjanam is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said about Mahamantra, glorifying Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And so it brings us to the gravity of what we are approaching. And then the verse from Shastra, Brihad Naradiya Purana, Hare Nam, that there is no other way. And then we approach Mahamantra. So there's a little bit of difference. I apologize to any of you who are trying to follow and then you get lost and you don't know where you are. But that's how we're doing it. So.
Also, one thing is that when we were traveling with another preacher who was with Gurudev since the early 1990s, she sometimes used to say in our Gurudev's pranam mantra, instead of Radhikaya Priyatmane, she would say Rupa Preshtaya. So that he is very dear to Sri Rupa Goswami and establishing what Sri Rupa also came to give. So sometimes there are variations according to the mood of the disciple's heart, and that's not always wrong.
It's also always right if it is in line with the teachings of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Preshtaya Bhutale, near and dear to Sri Rupa Goswami or Rupa Manjari. Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, near and dear to Krishna. Radhikaya Priyatmane, near and dear to Srimati Radhika.
Yes.
You can also say it in terms of their Gurudev. We can say Keshava Preshtaya Bhutale, that he's very near and dear to his Gurudev. There's so many different ways, and it doesn't disrupt the mood. As long as it's in line, it's okay. Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Didn't we sing that last night?
No.
No. Wait, which one? Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Oh, right. Okay. You did Charana Bhajaman. We spoke about it. I said. So page 359 in the Gaudiya Gita Guj, and it starts with Guru Charana Kamala. So Guru, and then Carana. Because it will stick with only 10, and then if I redo it, it shows that there are more.
Was it 361?
359.
359. Today is a very cool 45 degrees centigrade, 113 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and we're not accustomed to air conditioning, so.
So, Shri Guru.
Shri Guru Charana Kamal Bhajaman. Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Shri Guru
Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Charana Kamala Bhajaman.
want me to read?
Igara Purana for Sakala Vaishnava Gosai.
Sakala Vaishnava Gosai.
Page 46, Sakala Vaishnava Gosai, Sakala, Sakala, by Sri Radha Mohan Das.
This is a little low. Isn't it? with us. But if you look on the thread and you look for one Vaishnava named Jiva Pavana Prabhu, he's putting the lyrics of every bhajan that we're singing. So just as we're about to sing it, or sometimes even before, he has it up there. So just look for Jiva Pavana Prabhu, and then you can join in the singing with us, even without a book.
But if you live in Vrindavan, just say you happen to live in Vrindavan, we can actually arrange a real physical solid book for you. You'd have to somehow come to the gate, and we'll pass it through the bars. So we'll have to make an arrangement for that. One thing regarding the bhajan we just sang, because we're singing all of these lyrics in Bengali or in Bangla or in Sanskrit or Hindi, but really it's about the meaning, the feeling behind those words. And so you may have noticed in some of the bhajans we sing, there's a certain term that they use, Dante Trina Dhori, that I'm holding a straw between my teeth. We've also heard this in the bhajans glorifying Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In the Akroda Paramananda bhajan which we sang yesterday, it says, Jare dekhe tare kohe Dante Trina Dhori, holding the straw in his teeth. What does this mean? Why are they saying, holding a straw in my teeth? So I asked this question once to the Vaishnavas, why are we saying holding a straw in my teeth? This is a sign of great humility. It may be that they actually would hold a straw in their teeth back in the day, but even expressing that expression is saying that I'm coming in front of you, my master, like a ignorant animal. I don't know what's good or what's not. Like a cow. Cow has straw in his teeth, but he doesn't know which way to go or what to do. And so coming in front of any great personality, any Vaishnava, but Nityananda Prabhu is going before every single person. It's a symbol of someone who is begging, that I have nothing more than this, a straw, and I'm begging something from you. So here he's saying, O Vaishnava, give me your mercy, Daya Koromare. I am coming before you with a straw in my teeth, petitioning you because I am so simple and wretched. Nityananda Prabhu is not saying I'm simple and wretched. He's falling at the feet of everyone that he meets, going from door to door with a straw in his teeth. And what is he begging them? Bolo Gorahari. Just chant the name of my Gauranga. Chant the name of my Gauranga. And I will be your servant. You can purchase me. I will be your purchased servant if you will just chant the name of Gauranga. How amazing is that? So I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes certain things are mentioned like wearing a cloth around my neck. What significance does that have? Generally means hiding my, covering my ego and my pride and coming humbly before you. In this case, holding a straw in my teeth is a sign of deep supplication, deep humility, basically removing all ego, putting all ego aside and coming with a mood of desperation that I am begging you for your mercy. I just wanted to share that with you for context.
Also, if you look in the thread, Ramananda Das, toward the end here, he has the web page where you can find the book online and you can have it sent to you.
And also you can go to, what is it? The books, purebhakti.com.
That's
books. Oh, okay.
That's what he's put up.
And you can download the PDF or the version which you can use on your iPad.
Anyway, it's
iPhone
there.
or
Ramananda
Android
Prabhu
phone.
put it there. So thank you, Ramananda Prabhu and Jiva Pavana Prabhu.
Ramananda, Ramu, Nandu.
Nandu.
Hari Hari Bifale Janama Goinu.
Page.
I don't know. It just came in my mind, in my heart. Want to do money for you?
No.
No? 100. Hari, Hari. H-A-R-I, H-A-R-I. When I first met Srila Gurudev, when he came to America in 1996, he came to Seattle, and that time he had me do some singing, some kirtan, and I thought I was good, but yeah. Anyhow, I had heard his kirtan before on cassette, and I listened to it a lot, and so he would tell me which changes to do, and he was guiding me, and I was doing the kirtan. Afterward, he asked me, "Do you know the difference between kirtan and sangeet?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Sangeet is technical ability." Now it's too high. He said, "Sangeet is technical ability," and he actually sang the notes. And then he said, "Kirtan is transcendental sound vibration descending from Goloka Vrindavan into your heart." He said, after you receive Harinam, your kirtan will become potent. And until that time, I was thinking, I'm doing kirtan. But actually, until we actually truly receive Harinam, that means until Krishna actually truly awakens in our heart, we're not truly doing real kirtan. Kirtan is when transcendental sound vibration descends in the heart. That means Krishna himself is manifesting in the heart and dancing on our tongues. So this is due to association with Vaishnavas, due to taking shelter of the process of bhakti by their grace, due to calling out the holy names of the Lord with the prayer for service. Gradually, the anarthas will disappear by the presence of that sprouting, budding prema bhakti, and first in the form of shraddha, faith. So he said that to me, that kirtan is the transcendental sound vibration descending from Goloka Vrindavan into your heart. And that relates to the bhajan that we are going to sing now. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Hari Hari Dipale
Vande Vishvambara, and it would be Sudevi. Vande
39.
Which one?
339.
Page 339 starts with Vande, V-A-N-D-E, Vishvambara, V-I-S-V-A-M-B-A-H-A-R-A.
Bandhu Sange Jaditava Ranga Parihas. Page 124. Bandhu Sange Jaditava. 124. Gentilmente qua.
Can you do Srila Bhakti Kamal Maharaj's tune?
I can try.
You might mess up, but
No.
oh.
So Prabhupada Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj gave us a special tune. He loved this bhajan. I'm going to try to remember it. Try to go a little bit lower. Bandhu Sange Jadita Ramba Parihas. Bandhu Sange Jadita Ramba Parihas. Bandhu Sange Jadita Ranga Ranga
Bhagavatamrita
Kalayati Nayanam, Dishi Dishi Balitam. Page 342. Kalayati, K-A-L-A-Y-A-T-I. You want to do it? Can you tell what word it's on?
I already told John.
Kalayati nayanam Dishi Dishi Balitam Pankajami internet still going?
Yeah, it is. But every time you get a call,
I know
it
somebody
freezes.
keeps trying to call me. I think it's Airtel.
What a distraction.
I know. Okay, would you like to lead the Hare Krishna?
What would you like me to lead?
Hare Krishna. I can't remember that. Which tune is it?
Shri
Narayan Maharaj ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Hare Is it still going okay?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nangayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times into the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same thousands of Dandavat Pranams unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and my Dandavat Pranam to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today. My Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams.
So we are continuing with Going Beyond Vaikuntha.
He said nuh-uh.
I know, it's like, whoa, we're still doing that. So before entering into this book, we will pray to Sri Sanatan Goswami, who is the author of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, compiler, which this book is based on. In the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairaga Yoga Bhakti Rasam Prayatna Apayana Mam Anubhipshamandam Kripam Budirya Paradukudukhi Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. And praying to the lotus feet of our Srila Gurudev, who is the commentator, and Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, that may even a particle of their moods, which is present within these pages, manifest within our hearts. Trust me, so many topics come up with every sentence.
It's the 30-year study.
Excuse me.
Oh, Kishori, no.
No. Can you please don't call me at this time, okay? I told you before, don't call me until after 9 o'clock, okay? Thank you. Radhe Radhe. He's the man who sells bottled water.
Oh,
He's called like 10 times.
it's him.
He wants to know if we want water.
It's him. You see it?
I was always embarrassed when I would see any sannyasi sitting up on stage and Gurudev would be speaking, or that sannyasi would be speaking, maybe even an acharya of an institution, and in the middle of giving Harikatha, their phone would ring in their pocket and then they would stop the Harikatha and answer the phone. And I would feel very sad that that had to take precedence. But in this case, I'm hoping that it doesn't have to happen again. So Srimad Narayan was telling to Gop Kumar that I arranged for you myself that you would take birth in Govardhan. I came myself as your Gurudev. I gave you the Gopal mantra, and then I came again and again and again, birth after birth, to help you, to assist you and direct you, because you were just so hopeless that you were causing suffering to my own heart. Because the Lord is eager for us to return to Him. You've all seen that picture in Bhagavad Gita as it is, the two parrots sitting in the tree. Krishna himself gives this example in Bhagavad Gita that we learned as a song when we were young. The two birds sitting in a tree. One is Krishna, one is me. I am always in distress, trying to find happiness. He is waiting, day by day, for me to turn and look His way. So that verse in Bhagavad Gita is showing that one is the jiva, the baddha jiva, the bound jiva, who is trying to play the role of being the enjoyer and the controller. He's always trying to taste the fruits of this material world. And he's not looking toward Krishna. Krishna is the other bird, the super soul, supreme soul, situated within our heart. He's always there with us, and He is waiting ever so patiently, with more love than the love of millions of mothers. Gurudev said that Krishna is crying for us thousands of times more than we would cry for Him. Waiting for us, expectantly, hoping, and openly waiting for us. When will you turn and look toward me? But He won't force us. He's given us that independence. But He is eager and greedy for us to come into our nature of love and affection toward Him, by which we will be happy and by which He will become happy. Like our Gurudev said, please make me happy by becoming happy and chanting your Harinam. What he said, be merciful to me. Nityananda Prabhu, what makes him happy? He's begging from door to door. Just chant the name of my Gauranga. Please, this will make me happy. So the Supreme Lord is also like this. He has this mood of compassion. He has this mood of mercy. And it needs to flow somewhere. And where does it flow? Toward those of us, Baddha Jivas, who have been bound in this material world since time without beginning, undergoing the results of our endeavors for material enjoyment. What are the results of our endeavors for material enjoyment? To the extent that we enjoy, to that extent we suffer. So we experience enjoyment and suffering, enjoyment and suffering. Sometimes a lot, sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes less, in millions and trillions of different births and millions of species of life, going from the lowest possible point to the highest possible point of Brahma Bhumanalokar Puma Punar Avartino Jina, cycling again and again and again, but Bahirmukh. We have turned our faces away from the Lord. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna bhuli se jeev. Actually, Mahaprabhu is telling this to Rupa Goswami. Krishna bhuli se jeev anadir bahirmukh ateva maya tare deya sangsaradu. Krishna bhuli means being forgetful. Bhul means to forget. But it can also mean neglect. Being forgetful or neglectful of Krishna, the jeev, has turned their face away from Krishna anadi. Since time without beginning, we have no date when that may have been. Anadi. There is no beginning to that. So anadi means, you can say almost eternally bound. Krishna bhuli se jeev anadir bahir mukh. Our faces have been turned. Bahir means the back of our head, in essence, to Krishna. Ateva mayatare. Ateva means therefore. Mayatare, being captured by maya, illusion, that which is not, or that which is not real. Means everything within our experience, our material experience, which really has nothing to do with the soul. Believe it or not, Shastra says, asango yang purushaha. That the purusha, or the soul, has no real association with this material world whatsoever. Means it's all the subtle body and the gross body. It's like playing a video game, a computer game. I've seen devotees sit in front of their Sims game for years on end, just playing. And they've made their whole life about their artificial game inside their computer. And it's really important to them, because when you come in and you start talking, wait, this is important. I'm getting married. Right? We've seen that. I'm getting married. Wait. I just need to eat first. Then we'll talk. So absorbed internally with these games. In the same way, the soul is riding on the chariot, but it is the mind which is like the reins, and the intelligence which is driving. The soul is just a passenger, in essence powering everything like a battery, but the soul really has no connection to all of this whatsoever. And yet we think it is reality. The good and the bad. Good karma and bad karma are two sides of the same coin of illusion. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells us right from the very beginning that it distinguishes reality from illusion for the welfare of all.
Can you explain why good karma is?
So good karma. Good karma means I am doing good things in this world. Good things like feeding the poor, giving in charity, opening hospitals, free clinics, doing so many good deeds. And that gives us sukritis. I notice I did not say bhakti sukriti, I said sukriti. That's different than bhakti sukriti. Sukriti means merits. So it builds up our good karma bank account. And the result of doing good activities in this world is that in our next birth, we can go upward. We may be able to have a higher birth, janma. We will have more wealth, aishvarya. We will enter into a situation in our next birth where we will be more educated, shruta, and we may have more bodily beauty, shri. Janma aishvarya shruta shri. So by accumulating good karma, we can raise ourselves to the platform even of demigods, where we can enjoy the results of our good activities for thousands of years. And then when the punya, or the good merits, our bank account in essence, runs out, then, as I told the other day, garland dries up, everyone looks, poof, garland falls off, and poof, they disappear and re-enter into the material. Not the material world. The material world means all of this material creation, but they enter into samsara. So that's why Krishna says, a Brahma bhuvana loka punar avartinorjuna, from the highest position, even the position of Brahma, down to the lowest, which is like an Indragopya germ, or maybe a coronavirus, I don't know. From the highest to the lowest, all are places of misery because they cannot avoid the four aspects of this material world. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Dukkha doshanu darshanam, where there is so much suffering. We may experience a little bit of happiness, as is told in the bhajan, bhajuhu remana, chapala sukkala balagire. Very flickering happiness. A little bit. Means we wake up early, we get ready, we go to work, we work hard all day, so we can come home in the evening and have a little bit of enjoyment. Usually that these days means throw some food in the microwave, sit in front of your television, maybe a little sensual interaction, and then you fall asleep. And then again, punah punah charavita charvananam, again and again chewing that thing which we have already chewed before for billions and trillions of lifetimes.
What about doing things as an offering to Krishna, though?
Wait. That's a separate thing. So we're talking about good karma and bad karma. So the good karma raises us up, but it doesn't give us bhakti. It might bring us to the mode of goodness, sattva gun. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya durateya. The gunas, the three gunas, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are basically a product of his maya or illusory potency. So goodness, passion, and ignorance, sattva gun, rajagun, and tamagun, are all found within maya. So even doing good activities in this world cannot free the soul from the repetition of birth, disease, old age, and death. So therefore it's considered the other side of the coin of bad karma. So good karma, bad karma. What's bad karma? Doing simple activities. Actually, karma means the result of, or it means an action. And then there's karma phala, which is the result of action, the fruit of action. So if you do bad activities or simple activities, things which are adharmic, things which are against society, things which are unfavorable for everyone else around you, things which people know are bad and not good. Then you may take birth in lower species, or you may take birth in a family where you will be in a low birth. Low birth means that from the beginning of your life you're in a suffering condition. So janma, where you are born and how you are born, is also determined by your previous activities in your next life. By your previous activities in your previous life. The following life, you will have the result of that. So this is janma. Some persons are born into extreme, difficult situations, extreme poverty, and suffering quite a lot. And according to Shastra, this is also a result of karma. Just as someone born into a wealthy, affluent family is also a result of karma. And those persons have been there before, and these ones have been there before as well. So this is all part of the cycle. Then Aishvarya. Instead of wealth, one can be in a very poor situation. So struggling and suffering situation. Shruta, education. Instead of being raised in a situation where you're highly educated, you may be uneducated and even frowned upon as a result. And instead of bodily beauty, Shri, you may be considered to be not beautiful, and you may even consider yourself ugly and not beautiful. So this is generally considered, according to the laws of karma, and I'm saying laws because we all, within the material construct, have to endure that, whether it's what we consider favorable or unfavorable. This is all part of the same cycle. Sometimes experiencing what we think is good, and sometimes experiencing what we think is bad. So sometimes we're moving to the position of kings and demigods, and then sometimes moving through animal species, bacteria, germs, and coming back up through the cycle again, moving this way and that way, in order to taste the results of our activities, which means the activities that we do within the human form. That's quite impressive, isn't it? What we do as humans determines all of this other thing, because the rest only have to live on instinct. Even demigods are living on instinct and the result of their pious activities, and they don't get bad karma for doing the activities that they do. And the animals also, they're living on instinct. You can't criticize a lion for killing a deer. It's nature. But the human form gives us a state of balance. A balance by which we can make a choice. We can make choices within the human form. And according to Jaiva Dharma, there's different aspects of human form, if you want to call it that. So there's the stunted aspect, like the unblossomed, slightly budding, more blossomed, fully blossomed. In the first chapter of Jaiva Dharma, this is described by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So generally, we can see that some humans are in such a state where they are only living according to instinct and suffering a lot. So according to the definition given of human means you're in a stage where you are within a certain kind of balance, where you are actually able to contemplate and comprehend what is favorable for my progress, for my awakening, to get this soul into its true nature of loving service to God. That is considered human. That's the speciality of the human form. No other form can do this. That's why Bhagavatam says in the 11th canto, Labdva sudurlabamidam bahusambhavante manusham artadam anityam apihadhira turnam yatetanapatit anumrityavan nishrayashaya vishaya kalu sarvatasyat. That although material enjoyment, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, can be had in any form of life, only from the human form can one endeavor for perfection. Therefore, with whatever time we have left before this body falls off, drops down dead, until that moment we should utilize every possible moment in the endeavor for perfection. What we have not endeavored for before in millions and millions of lifetimes, we can endeavor for that now. So now is the time to inquire about the truth. Who am I? As Sanatan Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're reading from his book. He asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some questions. First question, who am I? The basic existential questions which humanity affords us. Being a human affords us to ask these kind of questions and also to receive the answers, and then to be able to move forward on the path or the process by which we can actually move out of this and move forward. Who am I? Why am I here? Why am I suffering the threefold miseries? What is my purpose? What is my goal? What is it all about anyway? These existential questions. And if we have sincerity in our hearts and we really want to know the truth, and Krishna says, if you really want to know the truth, then you should approach someone who is a seer of the truth. That is known as a tattva darshi. What is tattva? Advaigyan tattva braje brajendranandan. Srila Gurudev Maharaj explains that tattva is Krishna in Vrindavan, because he's the source of everything. He is the source of everything, so he is the essential, absolute truth. So those who see, those who are awakened to their relationship with, who are, Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada said, practically experiencing the truth. So it's not just a theoretical knowledge. We all have theoretical knowledge. But are we practically experiencing that truth? That's a different thing. Who is practically experiencing their relationship with Krishna because they know Krishna. They know Krishna's preferences. They understand Krishna. Then they can awaken us, within us, the desire and how to serve and please Krishna. And this is the possibility that we have within this human form. And until this human form is no longer valid, we should utilize every moment to awaken that. To awaken who I am. What is my nature? Now previously I said that the soul has no connection with this material world whatsoever. So then how is it possible that I might awaken something in the association of a sadhu who appears to also have a form like myself? Because what they are doing, they are engaging every aspect, every particle of their being in the service of Krishna. Therefore they are not considered material like us, these bodies. These minds, these intelligences are all material. Means the gross and subtle body. But when we begin to engage in activities which are favorable for bhakti, something starts to happen. The soul awakens to that. Not to the material anything, because the soul is made of Satchit Ananda. So I asked my Gurudev once, then who is the experiencer? If the soul, I asked him this question in Italy, If the soul does not experience the material world, then what is the experiencer? And he gave an interesting example, which I have read exactly, almost verbatim from Srila Prabhupada's books and classes. He said, imagine you have a car. Your car is parked on the street. Someone else crashes their car into your car. And you begin crying and weeping. Your heart is breaking. I'm finished. I'm ruined. Someone destroyed, they hit me. He said, so the soul thinks that it is suffering. Does that make sense? But really it has no connection to that whatsoever. Only he thinks he's suffering. So that is illusion. The non-connectedness and the thinking that that is me, that is the illusion. So whether it's good karma or bad karma, it's all part of the same thing, cycle. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada very boldly, and we might even say daringly, said that to rescue even one jiva from the fortress of Maya is infinitely more benevolent than constructing unlimited free hospitals. Because unlimited free hospitals do not help any jiva to escape the bindings of Maya. So you will help someone in this life, and then again they will continue in samsara. So you really haven't truly helped them. Not really. It's a temporary thing. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. If you just surrender unto me, how do I surrender to him? That is the function of his mercy, to teach us and show us how to surrender unto him. This is by the mercy of his devotees. By their association, Krishna Seva Vasana, the tendency, the desire to serve Krishna, to surrender, to please, to surrender unto and to please Krishna is awakened within our heart. So he says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Then I will free you from all of these bindings of the material world. If you surrender to me, I will free you from aham tvang sarva papebhyo, the results of all of your karmas, your simple actions, your good and bad also, all of these things. Because the process of surrendering to Krishna is completely different than doing all of the good and evil things of this world. It does not mean we should not do good things. From the platform of goodness, it is much easier to do activities on the path of bhakti. But still in Shastra it is said, akama sarvakama va moksha karma udaradi, that one, whether they are full of material desires or no desires at all, still they should surrender to Krishna. Even Kamsa achieved Krishna, not in the way that we would, but by constant absorption of Krishna in fear. So it is not that doing good things in this world is wrong. We should also live a dharmic life. And from that point, move up. Because from the point of only doing simple activities, it is much more difficult. How did it take Valmiki? It is said in his previous life, actually in his early life, what was he doing? He was hunting. And he was quite simple. He liked to, like Mrigari, the hunter, he liked to watch the animals as they slowly died. He was quite simple. And that time Narada Muni came into the forest, and that Valmiki, he saw Narada Muni told him, you should chant the name of Ram. He said, he couldn't. He was so simple he could not chant the name of Ram because of his sinful propensity. So then Narada Muni told him, then can you say Mara? Mara means to kill. Mara. He said, sure, I do that all the time. I can do that. He said, chant it as your mantra. So he followed the order of Narada Muni with faith. Narada Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord. So there is no bad effect by following the order of the pure devotee of the Lord, even if we might not understand it exactly. So he told him, chant Mara. So Valmiki, for a long time, chanted Mara, 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 Mara. For a long time. It is said that he did bhajan for 60,000 years. I don't know when it switched. Sometime in between it switched. That from his Mara, 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 he began chanting the name, the holy name of Ram. Because of following the order of the pure devotee and chanting that mantra, gradually his heart was purified and he was able to witness all of the transcendental pastimes of Sri Ram even before Ram appeared in this world, because he was connected with the absolute truth, with Shabda Brahma, transcendental reality, and he was able to compose or write Ramayan, what he witnessed in his samadhi, in his divine trance. So there is a massive difference between just doing good and bad activities and doing activities which are building bhakti sukriti, transcendental or bhakti merits. According to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the conversation with Mahaprabhu and Rai Ramananda, there it is said, Krishna bhakti rasabhavitamati kriyatam yadikitopi labhyate tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam janma koti shukritar na labhyate. The last line is quite telling in terms of what we've just been speaking about. Janma koti shukritar na labhyate. Janma koti means millions of lifetimes of doing good things in this world cannot give you the qualification for bhakti, or love and devotion for God to awaken in your heart. So we should not mistake the two or even try to blend the two. Millions of lifetimes of doing good things in this world does not give you the qualification for bhakti. What gives the qualification for bhakti?
Ringing the bell one time in front of Thakurji.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada established this point. Ringing the bell, even once, oh, they're going to get hungry, even once in front of Thakurji is infinitely superior to doing all of those good activities in this material world, which only have material benefit as its reward.
To save one jiva.
I've already mentioned that. To save even one jiva is infinitely more benevolent. Ringing the bell, doing anything for Krishna. So Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati. Srila Prabhupada said that actually he formed this term, Krishna consciousness, based on this shlok, which is in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita. This means Krishna consciousness. Bhavita is consciousness, mood. So, what is the root qualification for the awakening of Krishna bhakti ras? To be conscious of Krishna and serving Krishna and loving Krishna. What is the root qualification for that?
Sadhu Sangha.
Now, in this verse. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam jadikitopi labhyate tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. Ekalam means only. Mulyam means root cause. Tatra lolyam. That greed means intense greedy desire. The root cause, the only qualification or the only root cause of the awakening of Krishna bhakti rasa in our hearts, the desire to serve Krishna, is the intense, greedy desire to have it. So when we hear that, there should be some fireworks going off inside.
How do I get it?
Yeah. How do I awaken that intense, greedy desire? Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagavanaji Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. The jivas who are wandering throughout millions and millions of universes, experiencing samsara, the endless repetition of birth, disease, old age, and death in every species of life, doing every activity that there is to be done, every sinful activity that you can ever imagine, millions of times over. and experiencing the results of all of these things from every angle. Any jiva who is specially favored by the Lord, kon bhagyavana jiv, who is extremely fortunate, bhagyavan, Guru Krishna prasade pai, by the mercy of Krishna, who manifests in the form of the spiritual guide or the spiritual master, Sri Guru, otherwise known as Guru Krishna, prasade pai, by their mercy, bhakti lata bij, means the seed of bhakti is received. What is that bhakti lata bij, that seed? That is sadhu sangha, the association of Krishna's pure devotees. And what manifests in our heart as a result of that sadhu sangha, of that associating with Krishna's pure devotee? The awakening of the desire to serve Krishna. This is known as Krishna Seva Vasanam, the desire to serve Krishna by their association. That's why Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha. Again, the word mool is used. The root cause of the birth of the awakening of devotion to Krishna is the association of Krishna's pure devotees. And how essential is that association of Krishna's pure devotees? Even after the awakening of prem, divine transcendental love, perfection, even after the attainment of perfection, Krishna prema janme tenho puna mukhya anga. Still, this sadhu sangha is the most essential thing, the most essential ingredient. It is so essential that Krishna himself is greedy for that. He wants to know what it is like to love himself, and therefore he takes the association and shelter of his greatest devotee to experience that. What an amazing thing. So by the association of Krishna's devotees, the desire to serve him is awakened. Not by doing all sorts of good activities in this world, unless those activities have at their core, at the root, the intention to please Krishna. How do we know what will please Krishna? Only by associating with those who know how to please Krishna. Not by the process of our minds. Oh, I think this will be pleasing to Krishna. Let me do this thing. Still there's something there. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yat karoshi rashnashi yat shruhoshi dadasi yat tapastrasi kanteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever you eat, whatever you give away in charity, do as an offering unto me. So we can start to become somewhat Krishna conscious by this process. By this process, conscious of Krishna. But really, we will understand that Krishna's mercy has manifested in our life. When Krishna stands in front of us in the form of Sri Guru and tells us directly everything Krishna wants to tell us and engages us in the process of unalloyed, unmixed devotional service to Krishna, by which all of the external things are dissolved. By the process of devotional service, Kapila Dev says in Srimad Bhagavatam, by the process of devotional service, even the subtle body, not to speak of the gross, the subtle body made of mind, intelligence, and false ego is gradually dissolved as food is gradually dissolved as it is being digested by the stomach acids. So in the same way, devotional service to Krishna will remove all of that. And what will it leave? The pure soul in its relationship with Krishna. So Sudevi wanted to say a couple of words in relation to this subject.
You kind of moved past.
No, please come and share.
I was going to just do Narayan.
Please come.
Once we were watching a beautiful lecture of our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And he was speaking about how we should chant the holy name of Krishna. And he said one day, many of you have probably heard this, but it's one of my favorite stories. Srila Gurudev said one day there was a sadhu, there was a devotee, and he was living in the forest and he was sitting under a very large banyan tree. And this banyan tree had thousands and thousands of leaves on it. And every day he would sit down and he would chant the name of his Prabhu, of his Ishtadev, Lord Narayan. Oh Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. One day, by the grace of Lord Narayan, Narayan's own pure devotee came into that forest. His name is Nard Muni, Nard Rishi. Entering that forest, immediately that bhakta who was sitting under the tree recognized, this is the greatest devotee of my Prabhu. He jumped up, he offered his Dandavat Pranam, and then he said, oh Nard Muni, is it ever on your travels throughout the universe that you go to Vaikuntha and you see Lord Narayan? Nard Muni said, well, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm on my way there now. So, oh Prabhu, oh please, will you do one thing for me? Will you ask Lord Narayan when that auspicious day will come, when I will receive his darshan? It means when I will see him with my own eyes. Nard Muni said, of course, yes, I can ask him for you, yes. So then he left and he went to Vaikuntha. And just after some time, he was ready to leave. And he remembered that devotee. So he turned toward the Lord and he said, oh Prabhu, oh my Lord, in a very dense, dark forest, there is one devotee. And day and night he is chanting your name. Lord Narayan, he smiled. And he said, yes, I know him. He's my bhakta. I know. He said, well, Prabhu, he wanted me to ask you when that auspicious day will come, when he will receive your darshan. The Lord thought for a moment, and he said, oh, you tell him that as many thousands of leaves as there are on that tree that he is chanting my name under, that's how many births, that is how many lifetimes he will have to take before he will ever receive my darshan. You tell him this. Nard Muni thought, oh my God, such bad news. How am I going to tell that poor bhakta this thing? He went back into that forest. And immediately upon seeing Nard Muni again, that devotee ran. He offered his pranam. But with so much excitement in his heart, he began to ask, oh Naradji, oh Nard Muni, did you see him? Did you see Lord Narayan? Nard Muni said, oh yes, I saw him. Did you ask my question? Yes, I asked him. What did he say? What did he say to you? Nard Muni said, oh, he said as many thousands of leaves as there are on that tree that you are chanting his name under, that's how many births you will have to take before you will ever see him. Immediately then and there, that devotee began to cry out, Ha Narayan, Ha Narayan. Throwing himself on the ground, he began to cry and cry. One sweet day, my Lord, I will have your darshan, even though it seems like it's an eternity. One sweet day, there is an end to this separation from you. Ha Narayan, Ha Narayan. And he was weeping and wailing. And immediately then and there, Lord Narayan appeared in front of him. Nard Muni looked at Lord Narayan and was like, oh, Jai, Haribol, Prabhu, you're here. He said, what are you doing here? I just told him this whole bad news, And now I look like a liar. And Lord Narayan looked at Narad Muni and he said, no, it is true. As he was chanting my name, with that kind of connection, with that kind of enthusiasm and patience and hope and greed, that's how long it would have taken him to see me. But when he came in contact with you, my own near and dear devotee, and he heard my own words through you, a greed entered his heart to see me. And when he began to call out to me in that way, when he began to cry to me because of your association, immediately I had to come in front of him. So our Gurudev said, we should try to chant like this. We should try to do our bhajan like this. We have heard about Krishna. We have heard the sweet pastimes of Krishna from Hari Guru and Vaisnavas. He said we should try to chant in that way. We should try to chant with tears, with relationship, with some greed and hope in our hearts. Susan Moon is saying, I'm worried about my children. What can I do? Become a devotee. Chant. Chant sincerely from the core of your heart, and that alone will save your children, whether or not they ever become devotees in this lifetime. If you yourself want to do good to your whole generations of families, your whole dynasty, become a kind of little bit of a devotee, a Kanishta devotee. If you want to do greater good, become a very sincere devotee, associating with Vaishnavas and entering deeply in the path of bhakti. And you can liberate how many hundreds of family members. And if you become that greatest devotee who knows who you are in relationship with Krishna, what is my nature, how do I love you, and what is the relationship between us, then it is unimaginable. It doesn't mean just the generation between this body and all those back, but from so many generations and lifetimes they become liberated. It means they get the opportunity to come in contact with Sadhu Sangha, with Harina Mahamantra, with Vrindavan, with Prasadam, with Thakurji, with a book of Srila Prabhupada's or Srila Gurudev's. So if we want to do good to ourselves and to others, the best thing we can do is to enter deeply into this path of bhakti by heart. Not necessarily just by walking around trying to be with others. Try to call that association into our lives that will give us the deepest, most essential relief. We hear Nitai Padakamala Koti Chandra Shushitala. More soothing than millions upon millions of moons, the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Who is Nityananda Prabhu in our life? That is Sri Guru. And as he keeps saying, everything that Krishna wants us to know, he will tell through Guru, through proper sadhu sangha. And as this pastime, we hear when Narad Muni speaks the words of Narayan to this devotee, that greed entered his heart. He followed that. And what happened? Immediately, like Srila Prabhupada said, in 1 second, because he was sincere and he had greed. I want that. Ah, Narayan, never mind, it takes millions of lifetimes. There was no depression. There was no despondency. There was no pessimism. There was only one sweet day I will meet with you. If you have come in contact with the Mahamantra, a book of Srila Prabhupada, Mahaprasadam, you have come in contact with the mission, the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It means that you are in that line, you are on that path, you have been blessed. And just by that, by becoming sincere, you can save not only your children, but your entire family and dynasty from generations, forward, backward, and anyone you meet. If you sit alone in your house and you chant loudly, how many unlimited jivas, if you are chanting under guidance, means praying to Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, and then sitting down and sincerely chanting, how many of them will be touched by that vibration and will be given a chance just by sitting in your house? I read online so many people saying, oh, we can't go out and do Nam Sankirtan. So now everything is stopped. Nothing has stopped. We can sit down right here and chant loudly. You think sound vibration stops between these walls? It continues. And it continues around the world 7 times over. Then it leaves this universe. And if we are connected to true, pure, unalloyed Vaishnavas, that Mahamantra will touch the ears of Krishna. Why? Because they will petition Krishna on our behalf. This is how we can do good for ourselves and for others. And this is how our Gurudev taught us to chant. Srila Prabhupada would say that we should call out this Mahamantra like a baby crying for its mother. Crying for its mother, I'm lost, I'm alone. I need you. Where will I go for sustenance? Where will I go if my mother leaves me? Hare Krishna, please find me. See me, I'm calling for you. And that Maha Mantra is like that beacon, that light, shining it up so that we can be seen. Oh, look, there is my little jiva calling out to me. They've been lost all of this time. And now they are calling for me. This is the point of this mood of Narayan. Again and again, I have made all arrangements for you. You have not done it. I have done it. So when we approach anything on the path of bhakti, first and foremost, we should know that any mood, any urgency, or any slight urge within the heart to chant, to cook prasadam, to do any seva, to hear harikatha, any of that, first and foremost, comes from Krishna, from Gurudev, from their mercy. It's not on our own that we bring that mood about. Eka ki amar nahi paibal. Harina, without your association, without your mercy on my own, I have no strength. I have no good intelligence. I have nothing on my own. Oh Gurudev, oh Vaishnavas, oh Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, you have given me your mercy because I have the urge to hear Harikatha. I have the urge to pick up my mala. I have the urge to open Krishna book and read about the sweet pastimes of my own heart's beloved. I see that you are giving me your mercy. So there is no room for pessimism. Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj would say, there is no room for depression or hopelessness on this path of bhakti. It is all auspicious and it is all hopeful. That is why our Gurudev would always say, be strong and don't be hopeless.
So it looks like time is up now. So we actually did manage to read a little bit. But we did not venture away from the essence of these teachings, as I always say. It was essential, what is necessary for us to move forward. All of these teachings our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, have given to us, and we're sharing them to the best of our ability. Thank you for being the inspiration by which we can remember these instructions, and also by remembering them, it is for our own benefit. So much inspiration is coming to our own heart to go more deeply into these teachings and apply the instructions of our Guru Varga into our own lives. So thank you very much. Shri, going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Jai, Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Rupananda Guru Varga ki Jai. Yes?
Yeah.
Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Maharaja ki jai, Gurudeva ki jai, Bhakti Pavan Shri Narayan Prabhu ki jai, Preceptors Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vilo Bihari ji ki jai, Radha Ramana ki jai, Giriraj Maharaja ki jai, Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So thank you all very much for being here with us today. As I already told, you're giving us so much inspiration also in our own sadhana and our own lives by gracing us with your presence and your encouragement. And we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Srila Gurudev ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Radhe
Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe.